Hello everyone. Let me know if you're out there. This is, I believe it is Tuesday. This is Tuesday, I believe, January 29th. And we are going to have a little session this afternoon. It's probably good timing for the people in Europe and North America, but not so good for Australia and India. But let's see if we could have a short chat, and then hopefully we'll have chats some other times as well. So I'll just wait and see who will show up, and then we'll start. Probably takes a bit of time for people to realize that we are online. Oh, Excalibur. That's, oh my goodness, I missed. There's so many. Joey, hello Joey. And Sundar, hello. Excalibur. I think that was Brenda. Am I right? Did I remember it right? And Joey, how are you doing? Not good for Turkey to... Yeah, it's true. Well, it's not too bad for Turkey. It's about 11 o'clock there, isn't it? 11 p.m.? Right about midnight. Yeah. You know, we got somehow, we got bad connection again. That's too bad. Again, this connection is killing me. Let's see. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay and if the connection is decent, because I had a green line and now I have a red line, so I don't know what that's supposed to do for us here. My Wi-Fi is okay. My new modem is in works and supposed to give me a better connection. Can you guys hear me okay? Romania is 10 p.m. Oh, good timing for you. So let's see if we are okay in the connection thingy. Now I have a green line again. Oh, good. You do. Okay, so there was no lagging, even though I had the red line here. You guys been hearing me okay since past couple of minutes? Oh, Joey says it's good for him. In Turkey, that means good. Excalibur says instead of cutting every 10 seconds, now cuts every 20 seconds. Okay, so that's my clue to get whatever I want to say in 20 seconds. So it's like the old record players, gotta put it on the 78, goes faster, I guess, if it's a 45. Now, so guys, you can ask your questions. We'll be here maybe for half an hour or so, and depending how many questions we have, if anybody else joins us or not, and hopefully we'll get something out of it. We share some views and we go about our day. Now, I had someone who actually asked me if I'm going to have a live talk today, and I mentioned to her that I will probably about 12 to 1 o'clock here in Vancouver time. However, I hope that she will be notified somehow if she's looking for it. Let me just send All right. So, do we have any question, guys? How you guys been? What's new? Are you guys writing or no questions? So while you guys are thinking, I'll just get a bit of water here. So, no words, nobody's talking. Should I say good night? There it is. Excalibur. Of course, typically, as Excalibur is brave enough to be the first one. Let's see. Excalibur says, I'm feeling a lot less perfectionist after your answer. Good. Regarding sharing your channel. Me and my friends are all happily in relationships, but as soon as one fails, Mehran to rescue. Well, this is, I don't know how to react to it, because from one side, as every coin has two sides, from one side, I'm delighted that you guys are eager and helpful to my channel. At the same time, I don't know if I should be wishing for for you guys, your relationships to fail, for me to benefit from it. So why don't we do it in a way that everybody can enjoy? Like, you keep your relationships as good as possibly you can, but don't wait for it to fail to help me. Think you're doing something good for the world by promoting my channel anyhow, regardless if your relationship is good or not. Stop being selfish. You have a good relationship and some others may not. Just keep promoting. Now, that's my 2-bit on that, but thank you very much. I appreciate it. However, seriously, guys, even if it's not some of the videos that is not to do with relationships, you can find it on the playlist called the Psyche, and share those if you find them interesting. Now, we have... Joey says, I do have questions as usually. Okay. Sundar says, Mehran, how should I act with my college classmate? I've been dating her for about 2 months. Then she started acting cold to me, so I just gave up on her. The thing is, whenever I see her in classes, that's one of those questions that is next. Okay, there's next one. It gives me a feeling that I should be together with her. Not necessarily. She just, when somebody's cold, that means, like, what do you go, if the door is closed, you're gonna hit your head to the door because you feel, oh, there's something behind the door, I should be with it. No, the door is closed. That means the road is closed. So the hell with it. Detour. Go somewhere else and find someone who is reciprocating your feelings. You know, guys, you have to be careful about how we boys are programmed. We are programmed for procreation. That's why from thousands of years ago, million years ago, we run around whenever, you know, human being became human being, even before, in whatever state we were, we're always seeking for procreation. We run around looking for a mate. That is the gene. That is the program. So that program has carried, that gene has carried itself to this day. So that's why whenever you see a girl, you think you're supposed to be with her. Not necessarily. It doesn't have to be. You think you got to be with, because it's your gene that is programmed for procreation. Not necessarily that she's the right girl for you. So you have to be a little bit more demanding in your standards, rather than the urge of procreation, which makes you feel like that's the right girl. You know, it's like you have an urge of hunger. You get hungry. Just because you're hungry, that doesn't mean that certain food is good for you, but it's edible, and you look at it as a food that can remedy your hunger. But the reason you want that food is because it's hunger, not because it's healthy and good for your metabolism and everything that you should be considering. When you go a little bit further in your selection of food, then you will know, is it the vegetables? Is it got the protein? Is it got not enough sugar or too much sugar? And all these things comes to the picture, and then you choose your food. But because you're hungry, that doesn't mean every food is okay. Same thing, because you have a gene programmed for procreation, that doesn't mean any female that you see, then that means you got to go after it. That's the feeling that you're feeling, that you're following. But otherwise, if it was no, if it was, there was no, let's say if you're not hungry, in the case of food, if you're not hungry when you see a food, you don't run after it, right? So how come? It's still food, but you're not hungry. So it's the hunger that makes you feel like you want the food. The same thing with you. Your desire for procreation, your program for procreation makes you feel like you got to run after this female, but not her qualities, specifications, standards. But if you focus on that, then you will not be interested in her. Why? Because one of the criteria is that if she's not reciprocating, if she's not respectful, if she's not polite, if she's not kind, if she's not warm, if she's not communicative, these are things that you want in a relationship. So she's not offering these things. Why would you want to know her? Why would you want to be here? What qualifies her? Nothing. All it is your natural program, the urge for procreation that makes you feel that this girl, you should be with her. Not necessarily. So focus on that, and you'll be feeling much better in yourself, and you feel you're higher than your urges, because right now your desires are pulling you towards her, not your consciousness, the qualities you expect, and whatever it is that you find it's important in a relationship with your favorite choice. Anyhow, so I hope that would be something to help you out with. And let's see. Now, Excalibur says, I certainly will. And damn it, it's cutting is making me pull my hair. Oh, I know. I'm so sorry. I can tell you that the Wi-Fi is stronger than before, so I should have a better reception your end, guys. But the good news is that it is possible that once it's recorded and uploaded, you can listen to it without lags. That's what my experience has been in most cases, and I hope it will be the same today as well. Excalibur says, I really hope it's not just me, as my internet is fast at everything else. Oh no, it's probably the power of upload here, the power of I still probably have things to tweet, and once I do a few more of these things, then I know exactly what the problems are. So I'll find out more and more as I go along. I'm sorry for that inconvenience. I know how terrible it is when it becomes like that. It's not fun, and I hate it. Even I don't have that much hair left, but I would want to pull them out if I, if it keeps breaking, cutting out. Let me see if there's any other computer here so I can close down. Maybe there will be a better reception. All right. I don't see a lagging sign right now, so it should be okay, I hope. Now let's see if we have Jürgen. Is he or she, I don't know. It says some people are worth fighting for, although there are many millions others around. Yeah, that's true. You know, you don't really have to fight for anything, in my opinion, if it's not voluntarily, if it's not appreciated, your behavior, character, and if that person does not see the pleasantry or the opportunity to get to know you, and you know, if you're being cordial and decent and kind and whatever that meets her standards and expectations, then it shouldn't be a fight. Fight comes when the two consciousnesses are not really understanding each other, not respecting or trying to be compatible or find resolution to their differences. And then one thinks that I have to go and conquer her. It's not like the 2,000 years ago for hunting. You have to really conquer someone or convince them. So that's like a all-life project, and it's not going to be on equal basis. Like somebody has to try harder to have the other one convinced to stay around. No. You guys got to see if you guys help each other in life and can have good communications and good understanding and have similar paths and goals in life and want to be a team or not. That should be it. Otherwise, that fighting business, I don't know. Somehow I don't. It's usually you fight for your mate when you are very, you know, you're just focusing on that procreation gene. Otherwise, if the consciousnesses are not compatible, they don't want to communicate, they don't want to you know, be attractive to each other or cooperate with each other or understand each other. What's the fight for? You usually feel you have to fight because you're somehow you know, you just enjoy that, on a big part, the physical interaction that you have. Otherwise, if compatibility of consciousness is there, then it's a no-brainer. Both are eager to continue the relationship. What's the fight for? So that's another topic for itself. If we open that can of worms, it's going to be a big subject for here. Let's go to the next question. Oh, I guess I didn't see the first part of Jürgen's. Jürgens or George N maybe. George's question says, hello Mehran, you mainly come to the conclusion that if it's breakup, it was the wrong partner. What do you think about fighting for a relationship and not giving up as quickly as you suggest? Well, I never suggested you should give up so quickly as you mentioned it here. If you look at any of my videos, I never suggest that you should give up or quickly diss the relationship. It's my videos are all after you have tried your best, resolve, communicate, help each other to be compatible, coordinate, and compromise. And when it didn't work out, after you have tried your best, and then it broke up, then my videos are all about that stage. Most of my videos are all about that stage. So I never say give up. But the question of giving up or fighting for it is what I just discussed a few minutes ago. If the expectations, the journey, the path of your journey between both people is similar or the same, if you're both heading towards the same kind of a journey, expect similar points of references on this journey. In other words, you want to accomplish similar, maybe not the same, but similar paths of policy for your lives, and your consciousnesses are learning each other, and your order in life is compatible or would like to be compatible. If all that is pretty much working together, well, there is no need to have a fight for keeping somebody, because if that somebody is made out of two parts: the physical entity and the mind, the energy entity, consciousness. Most everybody is fighting for that physical entity, the warmth, the compatibility, the cuddling, the intimacy, the norm that they have created together, the order of being together, the mechanical process of getting up and texting each other or seeing each other if they're living together, and then go to work and come back and have the same kind of activities or whatever it is that they do. They've created that mechanical process. They've created that order. And that's what they're used to, and they think they're fighting for each other's the relationship between each other, but they're really fighting to keep the order. They're fighting to keep that intimacy. They're fighting to keep all that physical attributes of life and journey that they started together at one point was very palatable and very compatible. But that was all at the outset, which is, you know, always sweet and exciting and new. But once that physical thing, it becomes part of your norm and order in life, in the mechanical process, then you think you got to fight to keep it. Otherwise, you're not focusing on, what about my consciousness? How are the two consciousnesses are compatible? Are they really communicating? Are they really compatible? Are they really complementary? Do you understand your own consciousness? Therefore, can you understand the other person's consciousness? If you don't, then there's always going to be division and conflicts, because the two consciousnesses are always different. I don't care if you're siblings. It's still going to be different. Even two siblings have different consciousness, let alone two people who want to be in a relationship which are from different families and different backgrounds. So when the two consciousnesses will always have conflicts and division, that's a normal thing. If they understand that, they'll have a better chance to try to resolve things and come up with a compromise, knowing that all these conflicts and divisions are part of who they are. It's not like the reason for us that we shouldn't be together, because you will never ever find anyone that 100% of the time you guys will be in perfect harmony and agreement. That would be just something you're enduring, pretending or wanting to make an effort to make it to be like that because you are infatuated with each other. But eventually you want to go back to who you are, the me, the center, how your consciousness is put together. And there is no place for you to keep tolerating and making it all sweet side of the things. Oh yeah, everything is fine. Eventually your entity, your personality, your persona, your center, what you are, how you're made, wants to come out, wants to be free. And therefore it will be normal to have conflicts and divisions. So if you understand that, then usually both understanding that, it will be easier to discuss the conflicts and divisions rather than thinking conflict and division means we're not good for each other and we gotta go. And or it means we gotta fight to keep. You're fighting to keep the whole norm and order and the mechanical process and all the physical attributes and interests, yet the whole conflict and interest is coming from the consciousness level that neither one of you don't understand nor are interested that is something there for you to understand. You think, I am who I am, and why is it that we don't agree with each other? We are not comfortable with each other because you're not considering who you are is in your consciousness, and you're only infatuated with, let's say, the body of your girlfriend, or the girlfriend may be in the boyfriend's look, or what the boyfriend brings, or what the husband brings in the form of comfort and material things, and all that clouds your judgment to focus on getting each other's consciousness to be opened and known to yourselves, and understanding that the difference in the consciousness causes these divisions and conflicts, and that is normal. Anyhow, that's again going to be a long story of talk, so we go to the next question. I hope that was something, George, for you to ponder, and I hope to God you're still receiving this without lagging, guys. Joey says, there's a girl whom I like, but like she is always acting like she does not care about me, but when I feel bad she always stay with me, but like she is, like in daytime she is with me, but suddenly, if you would say one more like, I would say like I don't understand like what you're saying, because there are too many likes here, Joey. What's going on? Are you a valley girl? Which I'm sure you're not. Now let's see. It says But suddenly, out of blue, she wants to break up with me, and then she gets fine during the day, but then starts again. Oh, maybe she's I don't know, she's what is it, howling, the wolf at midnight. She becomes a wolf or something. During the day she's one character, at nighttime different, werewolf. So if she is not really constantly in the same mood, maybe she really is not sure what she wants, or maybe she's trying to play hard to get, or maybe she's bipolar. She has different moods. That's something that you got to figure out by yourself by talking to her. Say, listen, what's going on? Do you like me or you don't like me? What's this business? I don't know how old you guys are. That could have something to do with it, because if you're very old, very young, like in your 20s, well, neither the girl or the boy really are sure in their early 20s what they want, or how they want their relationship to be like. So the girl is trying to present herself in a certain way, so it would have a certain image in your mind of her that would meet her needs, meaning she likes to look in a certain way in your mind, so she puts up a certain image for you to capture. But that's not necessarily her. It's her own insecurities that causes her to go into that kind of a role, into that kind of an image, and then has that image for herself and expects you to look at her in that certain way. So these are all things that eventually resolves after you guys get to know each other a little bit more. But before that, you guys got to be clear. Are we going to, be in a relationship or not? And if it's going to be constant playing game, who wants that? I mean, at your young age, maybe you have the time for it. But when you're busy with all other challenges in life, you don't have that kind of a time to constantly be going up and down and guesswork of, is she this or is he this, or what is she thinking, or the girl thinks what is the guy thinking. And just make that clear so you can get to your lives, and then create an exciting and interesting and cordial and cooperating and nourishing relationship. Sundar said, thank you for the response, my pleasure. And Joey continues, oh no, we did that. And now we go to, now guys, give me a little bit of a background. Are you guys hearing me okay still? Is it good, or is it still bad, or is it, just give me a little, so I actually have some data here, so I can write down that how it sounded to know what to do next. So Sitko Casilla says, my fiance broke up with me 2 weeks before the wedding. Good timing, I guess. I know I should move on, but it's so hard. I know the best is to find someone else, but it is okay to move on. But is it okay to move on quickly? Why not? What, you got some confirmation from the other dimensions that your life is going to be 200 years or 300 years old? Of course it's good. Move on. If I don't know if you're a woman or a man, I can't tell from your name. Unfortunately, I'm not familiar with the kind of names in your neck of the wood, where you are, and your picture doesn't really, it's very small, so I really can't tell. So let's say you're a guy and the girl changed her mind, or either way, and if it didn't work out, she or he is no longer in the picture and has made that clear. Obviously can't be more clear than that to cancel 2 weeks before the wedding. That must be a really clear indication of not having changed their mind. And then you should not even wait a moment, but you should first clear that in your head. You should first clear that in your head, that what has happened is not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on that person's journey. that person's shortcoming, that person's fears, that person's expectations, that person's not being sure to be compatible or getting what he or she wanted from this relationship, which has nothing to do with how qualified, how wonderful, or whatever it is that you are, and however it is that you're made. Has no bearing on who you are. It is just a personal decision for someone. And the fact is, when somebody who is in a relationship and one of the partners makes a personal relationship, the other person thinks that there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just a personal relationship. Who says that a personal relationship of somebody would be a defining factor on who you are as a human being, as a qualified human being, as a wonderful human being? The fact is that because you have certain needs, and again, your orders and mechanical process have been set around that person in that relationship, and your needs of intimacy and whatever else it is that you're getting from each other is now set around that person, that relationship. When that other partner makes a personal decision, you feel that you're denied from all those things that you had set up and was going on as a order in your life, as a mechanical process, as what you were gaining, whether physically or in material things or in the way you were feeling. And you feel that that is an indication that you were not good enough. Not at all. Who says that? It's an indication that person's mind and consciousness or plans or however, whatever it is changed and is not the same as before, which means that person is changed. If that means that person is changed, which it is, because the person's being the same or not, depending on their actions, and then their actions and decisions and behavior and mentality changes, that means that person is changed. So if that person is changed, obviously has, and you used to like this person when he wasn't or she wasn't changed, then why would you even care about this one that clearly is no longer who he or she was before this new revelation or change in him or her? Please, next time when you guys send me a question, let me know if you're a man or woman, so I don't have to go him, her, him. So it just becomes a little bit, I lose the train of thought. So focus on that if a person has changed, then that person is not the person that you used to like, because you used to like that person the way that person was before the change. Now, if the person that you liked and were in a relationship was behaving the way that that person is behaving now, listen, I'm going to turn it into one kind of a relationship so it's easy for me to talk. So if you happen to like a girl in a certain way before she was changed to how she is now, then obviously you don't like this new changed person, because you liked you liked this girl in a different way, the way she was before. If you hadn't met her and she was acting and thinking, behaving the way she is now after the change, you would not even want to get to know her, because that would not meet your expectations and standards. That means this changed girl is a new girl, is a different person. And if it's a different person, yeah, it still looks the same physically, but that doesn't mean she's still the same person. If she's changed, that means she's no longer the same person that you used to know and used to like that girl before she was changed. That's the kind of girl you liked. So if she's changed now, then she's not the same girl. If she's not the same girl and you used to like that girl that you used to like before, then you can't be liking this. You should disqualify her. Simple. She's changed. You don't like that because you liked her before she was changed, which means a different kind of character. So let's see. So short and long, Sitko, is, yeah, if you're ready for it, if you can clean that out of your head and say it's not a reflection on me, whatever it was, and your fiance left, well, good riddance. Why would you want to be with someone who wasn't sure, what he or she wanted to do? So again, a feedback, please, because now I have a red line. I don't know if it means you're still hearing me or not. Yeah, okay, now you tell me you're a woman from Taiwan. Tell me that early, guys. I can't tell from the names often, or the picture doesn't show. So let me know your age and your gender, so I know if it's a woman I'm talking to, it's a man I'm talking to, how old you are, and so on and so forth. So it'll be a little bit more accurate in my understanding of your situation. And George says, thanks for your explanation. It was hard to understand with the interruptions, but I really appreciate it. Okay, my pleasure. George, try it again once it's over, and it will be uploaded automatically. And maybe a few hours after it's uploaded, there could be no lags or less lags. That's been the experience from the past ones. And I look forward to get this fixed. If I don't have it fixed, I may have to change the internet carrier with higher bit rate, so that could help, I guess. Now, oh, all right. Okay, so Joey says she's not in a stable mood. Okay, all right. Thanks for responding. My pleasure. And Sundar says no more lags and interruptions. God, I'm puzzled. Some of you, it's not good, it's lagging. Some of you it's perfect. I'm just totally confused here. Okay, Sitko says no lag. Robert, hello Robert. Robert says, I sit at home and just start texting random girls, but later I feel down because I know what it's not making me happy, but I oops, what happened? I lost happy, but I do it because I feel lonely. How to put my mind straight to accept loneliness? Well, you're not lonely. You think you have to be in a relationship, and when you're not, therefore you conclude that you must be lonely. You have to learn to be able to live as an individual without having to be in a relationship to feel that you're not lonely. You got to be in connection with your surroundings, with nature, with things you like to do, the projects. If you're totally focused that the only thing that makes you complete is when you are with a woman and you are in a relationship, you have a girlfriend, then that is like leaving this happiness and not being lonely in the hands of some outside force, depending on who would feel, you know, gracious enough to be your girlfriend, and then you feel whole. Why don't you take matters in your own hand, meaning that you will say, I only accept a girlfriend when I see it is compatible for both of us. Not just that I have to be with a girl in order to feel that I'm the stud muffin, and I'm the man, and then I'm not lonely. No, you can't define that if you're with a girl, then you're not lonely, but if you don't have a girlfriend, then you're lonely. Life has to become stable for you without any outside help. Without being in a relationship, you first got to learn that how your life is based on who you are, what you're learning, what you've accomplished, what your plans on, what you're doing, what your order is, what your activities are, and you have a life. And then through this journey and living your life, things you learn and experiences you have, you will meet a woman. And you like her, and see if that's compatible for both of us, then you start a relationship. And if it didn't work out, again, you still have your life. It'll be a little bit difficult, but then you will get back used to it, and then you'll do your thing until you find another opportunity and find another woman, and then you see if that works or not. Otherwise, if you think that the only way that would mean you're not lonely and you're counted as a, oops, somehow I got offline here. So if you think the only way for you to be counted and that you're in the standards of things is when you have a girlfriend, well, that means it could be, now and then, because who knows how long things last, right? So I have this lag again here. So let's see. That's funny. When I go to the actual OBS program, it's green. When I come to YouTube, it has a red line. Now it's green again. So we were saying that once you create that understanding of how your life should be dependent on you and not hanging on the balance to depending on who likes you or who doesn't, then you will not be texting girls just because. You're texting girls because I don't know, you probably, of course, naturally you want to be with a girl, and you're trying to find if there's someone out there that meets your requirement and would like to be, go on a date with you. That's all right. And please remind me of your age, guys, whenever you send me a text or question. And some of you I can tell if it's a man or woman, but sometimes it's hard. So it would be good if your name is not like generally self-explanatory. Let me know if you're a boy or girl, man or woman, and the age, and that will help me out. So Robert says, again, it's lagging, it's driving me nuts here. So Robert says, my main question is how to overcome this feeling of loneliness and not texting every girl to feel better, because I know I won't put in the effort, but just to make me feel happy for a few days, I keep doing it. Well, we explained that you should focus your life to be based on what you want to accomplish, what you want to learn, what you want to do, and create that excitement without having to rely on another person to bring that to you. Because remember, again, we're going to talk about one kind of relationship, so you guys fix it to suit your type of relationship. So it will be easier for me to talk about it. So remember, if you're looking for a girlfriend to be happy, you have to understand, she's not coming into a relationship to make you happy. She's coming into the relationship to make herself happy. So we have two people that both of them are looking to be happy by getting into a relationship, which is a disaster, because you're hoping that she will make you happy, and she is coming to the relationship hoping that you will make her happy, because neither one of you were happy before you came to the relationship, and both of you are expecting the other one to make you happy. That's a disaster. It's never going to work. You will be together for a while as long as the intimacy and the physical attributes of each other really excites yourselves, and after a while you'll see you're still not happy, because the happiness is not coming from the outside. It's not coming from the next person. It's not coming from your partner. It's coming from you. So you must learn how to live and be happy before you get in a relationship. Then come into a relationship to enhance it and expand it and learn together more, do things together, and then learn each other's consciousness and bond on that level, and so on and so forth. So that was a little bit of pointer for you guys. Let's see, we have now Philip says, thank you so much, Mehran. I have a question. My ex from a year ago posted her new boyfriend. When we broke up, she said she was emotionally broken from her past. Now I feel it was all a lie, because she has a new boyfriend and is posting him everywhere. Philip, who gives a shit? She's posting a new boyfriend on the social media. Who gives a shit? What does that mean? That's another guy who's trying to be with her for whatever reason, a real long-lasting relationship or short relationship, however it is that they're going to be doing. But who gives a shit who he is or what she? That's just another guy. Just the same shortcomings as anybody else could have or not have. Just because she has chosen someone other than you, that doesn't mean that someone is better than you. Just because she has chosen someone other than you, that doesn't mean that someone is better than you. It just means that's what she's feeling, that is going to help her to find that happiness that she couldn't find herself. So it's not you that is being replaced or the guy being better than you. It's the guy that she wasn't good enough for you, and she's trying to find out what can make her happy because she can't make herself happy. That's it. Don't go any further than that. And don't give a shit what she does or what she doesn't. You go on, do your own thing, have your own life. Wish her well, say okay, to each his own, and go and have a good life, and I'm gonna find another girl for myself. That's how your attitude should be. The rest of it is just what? You're making her to be the know-all, wise of all, you know, end-all. She knows who is good, who is not good, and her choice means a determining factor of who you are or who you're not. What the hell is that? Just don't buy into that. Go on, live your life. If she's with you, she's okay. If she's not with you, she's nobody. That's it. Go do your own thing in relationships like this. But if you guys were married and have children and then you divorce, well, you'll be nice to each other, cordial, and keep a good relationship, keep love around, make the children feel happy and not feel the divorce and all that. That's a different story. There's boyfriend, girlfriend, who gives a shit? Done. Go to the next one. Nobody's that perfect. Nobody is perfect, let alone some short relationship, a fling here and there. You gotta look at it objectively. You gotta look at it in what its actuality is, not like perceiving it, or that action of hers means I am not good, I'm being compared, somebody replaced me, he's better. So you're telling me whoever is intimate with her, that is the sign of that person being really a good, well established or accomplished or wise or high quality person. Who says that? If that was the case, everybody would line up just to be with her, so they will be considered a really perfect person. That's not the case. She's not a measuring stick. And so go on and have your own life and be happy. Now, Excalibur says, it's okay, Mehran, I can suffer for 1 or 2 more live streams before I lose my mind. Just kidding, she says. Well, you and I both. I'm going to lose my mind if I can't be able to deliver with ease and constantly look at that line. You know, you think you're in stress. I'm constantly, okay, the line is green, so I got to get in as many words as I can. Now the line is, oh, I got offline. It's just nonsense. I got to call the internet company, give them some piece of my mind a little bit. Now, she says, just kidding, and your laugh cracks me up every time. I know, it cracks me up, for God's sake, myself. So let's see, who else do we have here? We have Sundar says, Mehran, off topics question. I've seen in your past videos that you were drinking some red tea, perhaps rhubarb. How do you make it? Oh, I see. Some of the red teas that I had probably had hibiscus in it, or possibly it was some kind of a Middle Eastern herb. If it was all by itself and it was purple, or it had beets in it, or it was simply straight up cranberry juice, a bit of it, and the rest hot water, or just few cherries smashed in, taking the seed off, or cherry juice a little bit and the hot water. That would make it red, and I find it, you know, very refreshing, and it's not got no caffeine, no nothing, if I can't find a good herbal tea. I used to drink lots of regular black tea, and I loved it all my life. I really loved it. It had a psychological effect on me. You see, I used to train heavily on equestrian with horses, and I used to train with one of the top riders in the world, Colonel Nishati, and he was one of the top. He passed. He was like a father to me. I really loved him. He was a very good role model for all his students, and was very educated. He had educated in Saumur, France, in military school of riding, and he was one of the top riders in the world. And so when we were being trained, like 20, 30 of us, and the class would start, and it was a hard training, very elaborate and very focused training, and we were like teenagers, most of us. And when the training would finish, and there was a system there, and they were, you know, in the stable hands were mostly soldiers, and he was a colonel, and it was a very strict, disciplined place. And he would order tea, and the ones who worked well that day, the students who worked well that day, he would request tea for those students. And I was always in the roster of getting tea because I was pretty good, actually. I've won many championships and so on, in different ages, under 18 and over 18 adults. And I even had a competition with 2 Olympic gold medalists at one of the competitions when I was, I think, 22 years old or 21, and 21-year-old. And even though they had top horses and we had just regular horses, you know, I won 3rd place, and it was an amazing thing by itself. Anyhow, so getting back, meanwhile back in the ranch, so the tea would come in every time that he would realize that we've done something good, and I usually received tea because I was always doing my best and very focused and learning what he was teaching and do a good job with different horses. So tea for me was always having this presentation of I've done something good. Psychologically, always made me feel like, you know, I've accomplished myself. I've accomplished something. I did something right. So somehow tea became a favorite drink of mine for many reasons. One of them was that. So even if I wouldn't drink it, I would like to have a cup of tea nearby just to feel good. So but later on I noticed that I don't want to have that much caffeine because I used to drink lots of tea, and I thought maybe better I shouldn't. Well, somehow I didn't for a while, and I got used to not having it, so now I'm having lots of herbal teas. That's the story of the tea. The tea story. Now, Robert says, I get rid of, Robert says, Mehran, do you believe in evil spells? I feel that my friend has done that to me because he's always... Let me read that again. Robert says, Mehran, do you believe in evil spells? I feel that my friend has done that to me because he's always jealous and keeps wanting to give me some of items like hats or stuff, so I keep it at home, and once I get rid of it, he keeps calling to try give me something else, and inside myself I keep having this feeling that he did a spell of bad luck because he used to be jealous of my girls that I have and all. I don't get it. Girls that you have? Are you a lady or a man? I'm totally confused now. I get rid of it. He keeps calling to try to give me something else, and inside myself I keep having this feeling that he did a spell of bad luck because he used to be jealous of my girls that I have and all. Or is it my mind playing with me, or should I try not to take any items from him? Thanks so much. And because when I speak to him, I feel down. Well, first of all, I don't understand. That evil spell bullshit is just that, bullshit. playing with your mind, making you believe. If you believe that there's a spell that actually works on you, it is not the spell. It's actually your mind that is telling you that's how you should feel. It is your thought that, since it comes into your head and your head is attached to your body, and the thought coming from your head, therefore you think you know the source. The source is you. It's inside your body, it's inside your head. So you believe it. You actually believe your thoughts. Most thoughts are stupid. Just because a thought appears in your head, that doesn't mean you should believe it. It's garbage, nonsense. If you read one of my books that I've written as Transient Thoughts and Me, if you go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, you will see the books that I've written there. You have an opportunity to read. Click on the book will open, click every page, it'll give you a chapter to read, and it has the table of contents, and you can see what contents are covered in that book. And the books, as you know, are like expensive. They're printed, they're 360 pages, 200 pages, 600 pages. They're heavy, and the shipment is included. It's $100 every time anybody buys it, and I sign it and I'll send it to you. But because I wanted everybody to have it, I have turned all the books into ebooks as well. So you can choose the ebook, and the $100 turns into $4.99, $5.99, and $6.99. So it's just dirt cheap, like a cup of coffee or something, or a couple of cups. So you can afford it. Everybody can afford it at any currency. If you go there and read the books, Me, My Psyche, and I is a very good book, and I highly recommend everybody to have it. And it's dirt cheap. You can have it while it's lasts in the ebook version. And then Transient Thoughts and Me explains to you that, of course, when it comes to your head, you think that, oh, it's credible because it came to my head, and I am credible, I know myself, so the source is good, and that's how you treat it. But it's all what you're doing. You're actually convincing yourself to think that way, and when you think that way and you believe it, then you act it, because you think, whatever you think, that's how you would feel. Unless you understand what you're thinking is bullshit, then you will not feel that way, because you will know this has no credibility. Just because a thought comes to your mind, that doesn't mean it's true or has any credibility, or if it's an actuality. It's a thought. It's a thought because you're like a radio receiver. You're like a television. When you turn it on, it has a capability of receiving waves. It's receiving programs. But every time you see a program on the channel or TV or your radio station, that doesn't mean you're the one who create that program. It's a program created in some stations far away. But you are a receiver and you receive it. And receiving it doesn't mean it's yours or you created it. It just means you have the capability of receiving. You change the channel, it's another thing. So the mind is the same. You have the capability of receiving all these thoughts that is in the collective consciousness of the universe and all over, and based on what you've been exposed to and you've learned and read or saw in newspapers, or as you grew up, and all the other things you've been exposed to and you learned, TV, movies, and radio and all that, thoughts can appear, but that has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with your choice, wanting that thoughts or believing it or want to act on it. It just appears. It's like a television state. Just change the channel, think of something else, and that's gone. There's no credibility. Thought is not real. Thought is a thought. That's it. It's not a mandate. They should now act upon it because it appeared. None of that shit. So understand what thought is. Go get that book, Me, Transient Thoughts and Me, or Me, My Psyche, and I, and you will learn a thing or two, and they're cheap. If you guys don't really invest $4, $5, $6 on yourselves and these books that I've purposely made them so cheap, then what are you doing here? Because I can't be talking every day to everybody about every questions. I've created these books so you guys can actually learn about your own consciousness and know how it works, and help yourself become your own way of solving things, resolving things, and figuring things out. So please do that. And in the meantime, you don't believe that nonsense that you just wrote in here. Don't believe the nonsense that the guy gives you things. So what? First of all, why do you accept things from him anyhow? What it does is not a spell. Is the fact is occupying your mind, because every time you see that shit that he has given you, you put it in your home. That's what he's doing. You look at it, it reminds you of him. So it's constantly brainwashing you to have him in your mind, so you'll have a hard time to actually free yourself from that. Throw every goddamn, if you don't want to be with the guy, throw every goddamn thing that he gives you out, or give it back to him, or don't accept anything from him. So you will have your life based on what you want to do, what you want to see, what you want to interact with. Otherwise, every time you keep looking at the stuff that the guy has given you, well, obviously you're going to think about him. It's like conditioning you to constantly think of him. That's what it is. Otherwise, there's no bloody spell of bullshit that way. I can see some of these nonsense on internet or on YouTube that even it comes on some of my comments, which I delete them. It's like a spam that Dr. so-and-so, voodoo, mudu, gudu, will do a spell and you get your love back, and you know, I got my wife back, or the other one says she got her husband back. All this nonsense, spells. Come on now. Let me have some water. Pissed me off now. Anyhow, let's go to, or is it my mind? Yeah, it's your mind. We talk about that one. Philip says, thank you so much. You're welcome, Philip. I don't know what I said, but you're welcome anyhow. And now Philip says, will you be posting this video on your channel for yes, of course, Philip. That automatically, every time I have a live stream, I've programmed it so automatically it will be uploaded. Unless I click that out or delete it, it'll be there. I hope it will not lag then. And Sundar says, I could listen to you for hours and hours. Thanks for making an effort for each out to all of us, to reach out to all of us. My pleasure, Sundar. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it and benefiting from it. And please continue developing yourself. And I want to again stress, go on my site, mindthat6truth.com, the ones who haven't gone, and acquire these ebooks that are now dirt cheap purposely. There's no economic agenda here, because by the time PayPal gets their cut and marketing costs and all that, there's nothing really there to focus on that. This is why I'm plugging it. Of course, I want you guys getting it to help the channel, but at the same time, mainly it's so inexpensive now that is really for the purpose of everybody be able to afford it with any currency, whether it's in rupees, Indian rupees, or in Australian dollars, or the euro, or whatever it is. It should be now very affordable. Okay, guys, looks like we have had a long time to talk. It's over 1 hour, and I just want it to be half an hour. I hope that you guys didn't suffer too much because of the connection, and I hope that the connection will eventually cure itself, unless I have to change the internet provider and see how that goes. Okay, I love you all. Thanks for being with me for a bit, and take good care of yourself and the others, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.